Hello, everyone, and happy 6-month anniversary. By the time you're watching this, the anniversary has passed, and it's been more than 6 months since the original start of the Validating Podcast. But I wanted to post this quick little video to just describe 6 things that I love about the podcast, and it might be self-centered. It might be kind of weird that I'm talking about my podcast in a different format, but I wanted to post something to celebrate. So here's 6 things that I love about the Validating Podcast. Number 1, I love that I was able to do this idea and not get my nerves in the way of it, because there's a lot of times when I have ideas like this and I'm like, oh, whatever, I won't do it because of no one will watch, no one will care, I can't speak normally, so why would I do something like this? But I'm glad that I was able to just push that kind of doubting feeling down and express the excitement that I feel for it. So I was able to ask new friends every week and edit together new videos, and I've done it for 6 months now, and it honestly doesn't feel real. So I'm glad that I was able to just do it and feel good about it, even if, again, the views aren't huge. I don't care about that. I always said that from day one. I just do it for various reasons other than views. So I'm very glad that I've been able to do it for the past 6 months and to continue to do so. Off of that, number 2, I am so glad that I've been able to catch up with some of my friends throughout the past couple months. Every guest that I've had on, you can tell, is unique in their own way, and that's what I love about them the most, is that they're not afraid to portray who they are and just express themselves. And I just think back to some friends that I knew for a while, like Laura and Anna. They were good friends of mine throughout high school, and now I'm also inviting new friends like Lexi and Lucas that I've only known for a year or so. So having those wide range of friends coming onto the podcast and playing my fun games and just catching up with them, because COVID-19 has made that kind of difficult. So I was able to still catch up and still interact with them over screen. So I was very thankful for that over the past couple 6 months. And then off of that, number 3 is I love my friends, and I say that a lot, but I don't know if they actually know how much I mean it, because every one of my friends, obviously, but more specifically the ones that agreed to be on this podcast, because as you know, if you've watched it, it requires a lot. There's questions that they need to prepare ahead of time, games that I throw at them, and it's not always easy. It's not just like, oh, let me film a podcast real quick like it normally is. I always make sure that they know what they're doing before we start filming. I ask if they have any questions. It's a process, and they go with it, and they're smiling throughout, and they just claim it's because they have a good time and they like talking with me. But whatever their motivation is, I just am so thankful for them. And if you're watching this right now, thank you, who you are, and just supporting me and playing my fun games. Another thing I wanted to mention is that most of the time when I set a date and time, we obviously have to kind of puzzle piece it together, and when we're both free, and then I send them the Zoom link, they're always right on time, and it makes me smile every single time when I'm just alone in my Zoom and preparing my speech, whatever, and then they just pop in, and then they're like, hello, and whatever. So that always makes me smile too. So I don't care if they're late or anything, but it's just funny that they're usually right on time, they're ready to go, they ask all the questions they need to beforehand, and then they just get started, and it's an hour of their time, but they seem to enjoy it. So thank you for whoever's been a guest, and if you want to be a guest, let me know. Number 4 relates to the games that I played. So I don't know the exact number, but it's more than 20, I think, new games that I've said before are influenced by other YouTubers, other game shows, but are my own spin on it, my own titles. So I can't claim all the credit, obviously, I'm not that creative, but I still want to highlight how much fun I've had just either creating the games, implementing the games, altering the games, and just making it work for my guests. So I always like to think ahead of time, what games would work really well for this guest? And so far it's been pretty good, and I really enjoyed watching the ideas that I had that I've written out and then be able to implement it. It's so cool to watch. And the thing about the games that I like is that I always think like, oh, I'll just repeat games. I don't have that many ideas to go off of, so it's okay if I don't think of more. And then randomly I'm just like walking down the street and I'm like, wait, that'd be a fun game, and I write it in my notes app so that I don't forget, because I will forget if I don't write it down immediately. So then it evolves over time and it gets better throughout development and stuff, but it's fun to just like randomly think, oh, let's do that as a game, and then it works. So there are some games that I have that are very in the early stages of development, so we'll see if they ever see the light of day, but for now they're just in my notes app. And then number 5 relates to my editing skills. So I love to edit. I think you know that by now. And the podcast is low, like there's not that many edits in it, but I did discuss the title screens and everything like that. So little things like that I've gotten a little bit better at, and I don't like to brag or anything, and I don't think anyone would notice. But for me personally, who's usually pretty meticulous when it comes to this stuff, it's nice to see that I've kind of gotten in the groove of editing and getting used to kind of the work that it involves. And I've seen like progress with other projects that I've been working on. I've been able to just incorporate my kind of creative ideas with editing too over the past 6 months, which is awesome. And then of course, number 6 is to thank all of you, whoever you are watching. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos, even if it's just clicking on it to be like, what is this? And then clicking off. That's still enough for me, and following me on Instagram means so much to me. So thank you for that. And I just am so excited for another 6 months and beyond of this podcast. Who knows what the future holds, as always. I didn't know what I was signing on to when I started on January 3rd. Even before that, as you know, I recorded probably November of 2020. So it's been a long process, and I love every minute of it, and I don't want to change anything. I just will get busier over time. So we'll see where it leads me. And thank you for watching. As always, stay validating, whatever that means to you. And I will see you later. Bye, everyone.